Good morning, everyone. It's good to see so many joined us this morning. Really appreciate that. So thank you very much for joining. Our subject relates to encapsulation cleaning. It's a newer technology, a newer chemistry in the carpet cleaning sphere, and hence is still the subject of frequent conversations as to its effectiveness in various applications and how it fits versus hot water extraction. Coming from a formulator's perspective, I'm hoping to be able to give you some insights and information that'll help clarify a fair amount of this, and also give you some tools, you might say, and information and data that you can enable you to better sell your services, better explain to customers the relevance of encapsulation cleaning and how it may fit into your clients' requirements. So we'll have a look at the subject of encapsulation cleaning, taking a bit more of a deep dive into it. So in terms of the technology itself, it represents a significant advancement in the carpet cleaning technology side, in that these are polymers that are introduced into the cleaning chemistry, which dry down to a brittle residue. So not only do they dry down the chemistry itself, but also the soiling, which enables it to be vacuumed up in a normal dry vacuuming process. So if we have a look at the process of cleaning, just having a look at that diagram on the screen there, typically speaking, the surfactants as part of the detergent pre-spray will be sprayed onto the carpet, and the soil compounds and the soiling within the carpet would be emulsified by the pre-spray and separated from the carpet fibers, ready to be flushed away. If you have a look at it as in a bit of a closer look at it, those are what we call the surfactants surrounding the soiling compound, and it is emulsified. But what the difference is with the encapsulation cleaning is that instead of it now being flushed away with the carpet cleaning wand with the flush water, it is now what we term as encapsulated with this proprietary special polymers, which dry down the sticky surfactants and also dry down the soiling compound itself, whether it is an oily compound or whether it is more related to food. Even some of our typical spots and stains, they are dried down to a brittle residue by these pretty innovative and technologically advanced polymers. So that is means that they are released from the fibers, and as the carpet is then dry vacuumed 24 to 48 hours later, they are released to dry vacuuming. So the question often comes up as to, well, where does the soiling go? Because when you apply the product onto the carpet and you agitate it, the carpets immediately come across as being very, very clean, because all of the emulsified soiling has been released from the fibers, so you no longer see it. It is then encapsulated by these polymers, it is dried down, it is made brittle, so it dries and breaks away from the fibers themselves, and then it is flushed away, not by water as we do in hot water extraction, but by the dry vacuuming process, which is 24 to 48 hours. In the case of a residence, it may simply be the homeowner that vacuums the carpet thereafter. In a commercial building, it would be typically the contract cleaners or the facility managers that would be running a vacuum cleaner over those carpets and removing that microscopic soiling. Furthermore, with some of the more advanced encapsulation products, they will leave a dry, brittle residue on that carpet itself that will break away over the following 6, 7, 8 days, and furthermore prohibits rapid resoiling, but also remove further soiling as this occurs. So fitting into the cleaning process, we've always got to remember to start with the pre-vacuuming, and bearing in mind that at least 80% of the soiling that we remove in carpet cleaning is dry soiling, which will not be emulsified, which will not be soluble in a cleaning solution in any case, and hence the importance of that dry vacuuming step. So we pre-spray the entire area as we would do the hot water extraction, and then agitate with the machine. Now that pre-spray area and the agitation is mostly done, in fact, in one step. Many people put in the encapsulation solution in the tank of the scrubbing machine, which is then used to agitate the carpet and apply the encapsulation solution in one step. Following after that, the carpet is left to dry. Now that carpet will dry within 40 to 60 minutes, which is one of the huge benefits of encapsulation cleaning. And then the post-vacuuming occurs 24 to 48 hours later, but of course can be done quite a lot later after that, depending on the particular circumstances. Now, one of the questions come up a lot as to encapsulation cleaning versus hot water extraction. And it is important to note that from a formulator's perspective is that encapsulation cleaning, being a dry cleaning version of carpet cleaning, does not take over from hot water extraction. Hot water extraction is always going to be the most effective means of cleaning a carpet. Where the encapsulation cleaning fits in is more in the interim cleaning sphere. So where a carpet may be cleaned periodically, let's say every 6 months in a commercial building, it may be once a year in a residence. The encapsulation cleaning process can substitute 2 or 3 of those hot water extraction processes. So instead of hot water extraction once a year, you could do an encapsulation cleaning for 2 of those times. So you'd only then do a hot water extraction every 3rd time, every 3rd year, or every 4th year. For a commercial building, it'd be exactly the same, just replacing 2 or 3 of those hot water extraction cleans. Furthermore, there's many applications on the upper stories of buildings or lighter usage carpets where encapsulation cleaning could be used as a standalone cleaning process to replace hot water extraction in those areas. But we should be very clear that encapsulation cleaning is to be used in conjunction with hot water extraction and not regarded as a replacement for it. So there are serious benefits in relation to encapsulation cleaning, and it's good to be able to identify them and know where they fit so that you can use it intelligently within your operation. So first of all, the most obvious one is that it eliminates the need for wet extraction. In many applications, it was set on lighter soiled carpets, upper floors of buildings, etc. Then it is also ideal for large commercial areas with quicker drying times and less equipment intensive cleaning. This can be very important in commercial areas where you need to be in and out a lot quicker than what hot water extraction would allow. And it also provides you with a very low propensity for resoiling and enables you to improve the appearance of the carpet to near hot water extraction appearance within a very, very short time span. Furthermore, the products with these proprietary polymers enhance the anti-resoiling and prevent wick back. Now, we've gone over this already, but where this is very important is in relation to recurring stains and in relation to stain removal on its own, which we will talk about as well a little bit later in this session. The last one that we've got there is a significant lower usage of water, electricity, equipment, and man hours. And this is, in one sense, what I think is the key benefit. Now, where this comes into play particularly is in commercial buildings. So you're able to go into a building, you might say first thing in the morning, and do a clean. There's none of all the hoses or the water or the noise, the usage of high amounts of electricity. You're able to get that carpet looking 95% as good as a hot water extraction, and the carpet is dry then within an hour, and the office is able to be returned to normal use within normal office hours, but with a carpet that is now cleaned. So ideal for those commercial buildings, ideal also for those smaller areas, let's say a lift lobby area in a commercial building where you can't exactly justify bringing all that equipment out to do just that area. Those are just 2 examples, but there's many examples where the lower usage of equipment, those equipment resources, both water, electricity, and sound. So don't forget the fact that encapsulation cleaning is so much more quieter than what you typically get out of a hot water extraction clean. So there is a lot of those benefits, which I'm sure many of you realize already, but it's good to have them jotted down and that you can discuss them with your clients intelligently. And remember the lower amount of water and also the increased amount of square meters per hour, which does bring me to the 2 sides of an encapsulator formulation. So as I said, coming from a formulator's perspective, I'd like to give you just a couple more insights into this. because there is two distinct parts of an encapsulation chemistry formulation. The first part is the initial ability to emulsify the soiling and release it from the carpet fibers. Now, this in one sense is the same process as what you'd find with the regular pre-spray, the pre-spray use in a hot water extraction process. So it emulsifies the soil, it dissolves all the oils, it releases it from the fiber. And this, you might say, is the easy end of the formulation, and it is also the lower cost end of the formulation. Where the more difficult part comes in is the ability to now dry that down and make it brittle to a point where it will release from the fibers. It will also not cause any resoiling should it be left in the fibers. And this is a lot more expensive. This is the expensive end of the formulation. This is the more innovative, technologically advanced end of the formulation. Now, many people haven't, in fact, necessarily got this correct. So what we've done is done a little bit of an experiment to actually show you how this works. We've put together little experiments, and I'll just run that through for you to give you a better understanding of the importance of a well-formulated encapsulation product. To demonstrate the way that the Actichem Encap Plus dries down to a brittle, dry residue, what we've done is we've taken 5 mils of the Encap Plus and put it into a plastic petri dish and then dried it down using ambient conditions. The residual from the dry down experiment shows a very dry, brittle crystal from the Encap Plus. So looking at it with a scraper, we can notice how easily and quickly it releases from the plastic on the petri dish. Now, this is what will happen on the carpet under normal conditions, taking into account the flexibility of the carpet fiber, that it is very dry and will be released very quickly as a carpet is used, and of course, most importantly, vacuumed in the 24 to 48 hours after the encapping process. If we go one step further and add in some dry crushed pepper, just to prove its dry, non-resoiling characteristics, we spread some pepper on top of the dry down experiments, and then we can tip it upside down and have a look as to how much of it has actually remained stuck to the residual Encap Plus. So as you'll note, all of the pepper has been released. It has not stuck to the Encap Plus residue at all. Furthermore, a large degree of the Encap Plus residue has in fact broken away from the petri dish of its own accord. We also did exactly the same test using a competition product. So what we have here is a competitor's product, and the residue that has remained is a very waxy like substance. If we do the same experiments of scraping with a plastic scraper, you'll notice that a bit of force is required, and it is a very waxy substrate, substance which is adhered quite tenaciously to the plastic of the petri dish. Now, whilst the substance and the residue is non-resoiling in the sense that it is not going to hold on to dry soil, it is certainly not going to be released from the fibers at all. That gives you a good little visual description as to the way that those encapsulation polymers work, and also gives you perhaps a bit of insight into what goes into a well-formulated encapsulation cleaner. So whilst many encapsulation cleaners might appear to give you good results up front, there's no guarantee that they are going to release the soiling from the fiber. So the initial appearance might not look too different between a good and a poorly formulated encapsulation cleaner, but its ability to release that soil into dry vacuuming, which is the challenge. And that is the hallmarks of a good product. And that is where you're going to pay a higher price for a product that has got those encapsulation embrittlements and dry down features. So going cheap on an encapsulation product may not be in your best interests, and it is certainly not in the best interests of your client, especially if you're going to be cleaning that carpet on a regular basis, because you will come to a situation where the carpet becomes choked with the encapsulation product. There's going to be so much product left in that carpet from all the previous cleans that it is not going to finally come clean. So in terms of the Actichem products that we have available specifically on the encapsulation range, the Encap Pro is a product which is designed around low pile synthetic carpets for commercial applications. It is the lower cost product of the two main encapsulation products we've got, and carries with it the features and benefits of a well-formulated encapsulation product. So it has that enhanced soil release, which is just what we saw in the previous video. It has the specialty polymers, which are not only just soil release, but anti-resoiling. And then furthermore, it has got the extended soil release, which we spoke about, where it clings to the fiber for that extended time over typically 7 to 8. These products have also got the Clean Seal and the Wool Safe approval and are dilutable down to 1 in 32. So very, very economical dilution rates. Now, in terms of the Encap Plus, this is a product which is designed around the higher pile carpets, more plush carpets. People love it for use in hotel and hospitality situations, as well as residences. As with the Encap Pro, it has got the enhanced soil release, specialty polymer anti-soiling, as well as the extended soil release. And furthermore, it also has got the ability to enhance and top up, you might say, on a 5th generation nylon, the Stain Master type anti-resoiling properties that it has got. So it actually tops that 5th generation stain release properties of that carpet. So it is also runs at a 1 in 32 dilution, and it also has got the Wool Safe and the Clean Seal approvals to it. The Encap Fine Fabric is a product which is designed around fine fabric, as the name implies. Love for use on upholstery, everything from cotton through to your jacquards and wool, especially on delicate rugs as well. Very, very effective on rugs, area rugs. One of the nice things about it is that it has got a very high foaming propensity. So it can be used in a number of different ways, and it is across the board used very much in these various applications. One is you can use it as a straight Encap solution, even on upholstery. Otherwise, it can be used as a dry foam. So you mix up the product, generate a rich foam, and actually use that foam for a very dry clean and a very low moisture clean. So the pH is down less than 7, around about 5 to 6, which gives you that low pH clean, which stabilizes the dyes, stabilizes the coloring within the fabric, as well as provides that stability that you need for some of these rayons and the cottons, as well as even the wools in these delicate rugs. So the Encap Fine Fabric is a very, very popular product. I will also just share with you one detail about it, is that many people are using it diluted down to about 1 in 10 for use as the cleaner component of leather. So it does work very well on leather cleaning as well. Once again, it carries the Wool Safe and the Clean Seal approval. And I'd like to just put a little bit of a stress on this, tell you the importance of the Clean Seal and the Wool Safe approvals for these. So the Clean Seal revolves around synthetic fibers, whereas the Wool Safe, as the name implies, revolves around more your natural fibers. But what this means is that these products have been tested by a third party. So as we know, Wool Safe and Clean Seal is an international approval that is recognized, and it goes through a very, very rigorous testing program. I've just jotted down a couple of the criteria that it has to meet, specifically relating to our discussion today. It is not the only criteria that it has to meet, but just in relation to encapsulation cleaning. And these are the pH and the buffering profile of it, its effect on color fastness of fibers. That's a very, very rigorous test, I might add. And its resoiling characteristics and its cleaning performance. So the proof in the quality of this product is in its third-party qualifications. And this is the important part of it that you can take along when you are selling, when you are marketing to your clients, that you'll be caring for their carpets and their investment with products that have got these internationally recognized third-party certifications. This is very, very important in giving not only yourself, but your clients the confidence that they require. So the topic of encapsulation boosters and spotters is something that often comes up. What can I use in conjunction with it? We're often add boosters to our pre-sprays, we add deodorizers and different things like that. So what is compatible with encapsulation products? And one thing I'd like to just stress right up is that encapsulation polymers are quite delicate. They can be interfered with very, very easily. So we cannot just mix any other chemistry with them. So we have to stick with what is recommended and only with what is recommended. In terms of boosting the encapsulation products, realistically, the only compatible booster is hydrogen peroxide. And this is the Actichem Perox, which is a 50% active hydrogen peroxide. It is very, very effective in its addition to the Encap Pro, Encap Plus, and even the Encap Fine Fabric. In terms of carpet cleaning, it is most effectively used on synthetic carpets, and is typically added in to give around about a 1% or 1.5% active hydrogen peroxide content. That is 30 mils per liter of the Encap ready-to-use solution. Then furthermore, what spotters can be used? So in terms of the spot removers that can be used in conjunction with the Encap process, the Actichem VDS, which is a volatile dry spotter in that it evaporates entirely from the surface. This can be used quite safely in conjunction with the encapsulation process. In other words, it can be sprayed on the substrates, it can be blotted off on the carpet or on the upholstery, and the Encap process can run directly over the top of it. You wouldn't add it in conjunction with the cleaning solution itself. Then, of course, there is the Conquer and also the Conquer O2. So the Conquer and the Conquer O2 themselves are both encapsulation-based spot removers in their own right. So absolutely, they can be used in conjunction with the encapsulation process and certainly enhance it in those areas where there's bad staining or bad spots that need to be removed. And furthermore, all the benefits and the advantages of an encapsulation product are found in those two products. The Conquer being basically your multitask spotter, which is used across all of your stains and spots, absolutely loved by people, especially contract cleaners and many, many carpet cleaners where you do not need to rinse. But also because of its high effectiveness, is often used as a first attack approach on spots and stains. If the Conquer doesn't work, then you go on to whether it may be your CTR or some other solvent spotter in regular carpet cleaning, even in hot water extraction. The Conquer O2 carries most of the same features as the Conquer and the benefits, with the addition of hydrogen peroxide for those color-rich stains. The Spotaway is also a product that can be used in conjunction with the encapsulation process because it is simply a stabilized hydrogen peroxide diluted solution. That covers off to a large degree the chemistry and the chemical products that are involved in the encapsulation cleaning. But before I finish off, I just wanted to touch on some of the equipment and the methods of doing it. So there is a number of different machines which are used out in the market today for encapsulation cleaning. The first one that we're most familiar with is a single disc rotary scrubbing machine. And then there is the triple head scrubber, which many of you would know as the Cymex machine. And then there is the CRB scrubber, which is something that is very popular in today's world. That is the counter-rotating brush scrubber. Another machine which we haven't got on the screen is the Orbot machine, which is an orbital scrubbing machine, which vibrates at a very, very high frequency and provides very, very effective agitation on these encapsulation cleaning. So there's a number of different machines, and I'm not here to, in a sense, tell you as to which one is going to work better than the other. That is the role of your equipment supplier, and I'd very, very willingly be able to go over that with you. But there is also the side of what pads and brushes you use, which is once again a very, very important side to it. So there's a carpet cleaning brush used on the rotary disc machine, on your triple head machine, and right through to your CRB. It's also got a brush as well. It doesn't look like that. It's a barrel brush, and even your Orbot machine. And then you've got the scrubbing end cap bonnets, your typical cotton bonnet, which you're familiar with, and lastly, the microfiber end cap pad. So when do we use which one? The carpet cleaning brush is most often used when you have got a higher pile carpet. Where you start going to a lower pile carpet in your synthetic carpets, you start matching the pad to it. So a thin end cap pad or a fiber plus pad is very, very good for those lower pile, loop pile synthetic carpets, as is the microfiber end cap pad. Even the scrubbing end cap bonnet pad, because it gives you a little bit of extra agitation, certainly very, very good for those synthetic carpets. When you start getting to the higher pile carpets, especially cut pile, I always prefer to go for the brush route or something that's a little bit less harsh. Remember that the cotton bonnet in the middle is the one that is going to absorb the soil as well as hold a lot of the solution. So typically it's not often used in relation to it because it also gives your lowest amount of agitation. And certainly if you're using an all-bot machine, those cotton bonnets are not very effective because you lose a lot of the vibration from the machine just due to the cotton richness in the bonnet itself. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you very much. Really appreciate it.